Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I want to touch on two things in this video, Surging Sparks and Vivid Voltage. And hey, the title and the thumbnail of this video, it was an absolute disaster for me back when Vivid Voltage came out. And, you know, I hear a lot of chatter and talk around this correlation between Vivid Voltage and Surging Sparks. So I guess I want to hit that nail on the head and give my take and opinion on it. So first things first, let's go back to 2020 when Vivid Voltage came out. And the whole title and premise of this video that it was actually a disaster for me. So I remember very quickly, you know, demand for Vivid Voltage just went insane. You know, we had supply chain issues, people were stuck at home. Of course, there was that Logan Paul hype. Vivid Voltage had just come out. The mascot of the whole TCG and anime was on the front cover, and the Game Boy games, of course. Pikachu was on the box. Pikachu Rainbow version was the main chase card. We had new rarities in Amazing Rares coming out. And really, the previous sets had been a bit lackluster. You know, Sword and Shield base and Rebel Clash, you know, we didn't really have much to chase. And then all of a sudden, Vivid Voltage hit. And it was like, not only do we have Amazing Rares to chase, like, we've got a Rainbow Pikachu to chase. And straight out of the gate, raw, that was going for massive money. And at PSA 10 pricing, it was also going for massive money. And as a result, demand for that set just went insane. Obviously, there was people with nothing better to do, like other than just to open Pokemon cards. Plus, you know, maybe some supply chain issues as well thrown into the mix. And, you know, at pre-order, this very quickly, and not much after release, very quickly shot up in price to crazy prices, similar to what we're seeing for Surging Sparks right now. And I can remember I bought it and I got in at about 190 Australian dollars for 2 cases, which isn't a lot. Like, I don't have heaps, I don't have a huge position in Vivid Voltage, but I do have 2 cases of Vivid Voltage. I've got 12 booster boxes of Vivid Voltage, plus whatever one I've got on display. So what, 13 booster boxes of Vivid Voltage. And I bought them at 190 Australian dollars. That's roughly, given obviously exchange rate, about 125 to 130 US dollars. Now, that booster box has pretty much sat at that same price for like the last 4 years. It's probably a touch over 4 years now. So when I say it's disaster, like, not that it's heaps of money. I know it's only 2 booster box cases plus a display one, but I've parked a bunch of money there that's pretty much done nothing. I could have bought Evolving Skies for that exact same price. You know, more and more cases of Evolving Skies for that price. And I didn't. So I think now it's maybe like 155 US a box, which is currently, you know, maybe about 240, 250 Australian. You could probably get it on special because people still want to move it on at, you know, maybe 220 or 230 Australian. So I really have not seen much gains whatsoever on Vivid Voltage. Now, I guess the correlation comes about for a couple of reasons. One, people go, well, Surging Sparks is a Pikachu base set and the main chase card is a rainbow bordered Pikachu, which is very reminiscent of Vivid Voltage. I just want to say straight up, I don't like the term Vivid Voltage 2.0. Like, if you can't see that Surging Sparks is by far and away a more polished and better Pokemon card set than what Vivid Voltage was and is, then I think I think you're on a different planet to what I am. It is a lot better set. Is it as good as Evolving Skies? Is it as good as Team Up? Is it as good as Unified Minds even? Big questions. They'll no doubt be answered in the coming months and years, and we'll see how the community continues to, you know, eat it up, and we'll see what, you know, raw prices would be. We'll see what the top chase card prices will be. But either way, this whole idea that it's Vivid Voltage 2.0, I just want to squash that on the head. It's not. Like, Vivid Voltage is like a C- or C tier set at absolute best. Like, it's got 1 chase card and that's it. I see Surging Sparks not as an S tier set. You know, I don't see it sitting in the same realm as Evolving Skies, but I also definitely see it sitting, based on the set list and based on the demand for it, I see it sitting as an A tier set. And the reason for that, I don't want you to get confused, the demand that we're seeing for Surging Sparks with what we saw at Vivid Voltage. Very different times, like completely different times. The demand we had for Vivid Voltage was not very organic. Like, it was driven by, you know, a lot of external factors towards opening that set. You know, like I mentioned before, COVID, lockdown, stuck at home, Logan Paul, etc. Just this hype around, and that was just the best set to open at the time. There are other good sets to open at the moment. With Surging Sparks, there's a lot more natural demand for it. And that natural demand is coming from the fact, I suppose for lots of reasons, but the main one being how good the set list looks. Like, it's just a good looking set list. Not only do we have the rainbow bordered Pikachu as a beautiful chase card, the Hydreigon looks phenomenal. Lissie's Appeal looks phenomenal. The Executor also looks good. Even some of the illustration rares, the Latios and obviously the Latios special illustration rare, like it's got hits in there. It's a half dragon based set and half electric based set. Like, I don't think much can go wrong with it. It's so far from what I can tell, other than perhaps 151, it's definitely the best set that Scarlet and Violet's seen. Now, on all that, I think, when we're talking about popularity and demand shifting towards a set and it driving, pre-release prices very, very far north, which we're seeing with Surging Sparks, again, similar to Vivid Voltage, there's only so much, I suppose, money the hobby can cope with, unless there's new collectors and new investors and new players and new everything else, kids, etc., coming into the hobby. There's only so much money circulating around. And it's funny how it gets shifted. There's only so much money that'll want to buy sealed product. There's only so much money that'll want to buy singles. Yes, there can be more demand, but that money sort of circulates and moves from place to place. Sometimes there's, more demand on vintage and then it's moved to modern. But at the moment, as we can see, the money is well and truly shifting towards Surging Sparks. There's talks of people getting smaller allocations than what they expected, particularly for things like booster boxes. I'm pretty sure the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes are still online though. But either way, there is massive, massive demand heading towards Surging Sparks. Now, I suppose to summarize the whole point of this video is, Vivid Voltage for me personally was a disaster. I don't want you to do two things. One, buy into the FOMO around Surging Sparks, and two, listen to people that are saying it's Vivid Voltage 2.0 and it's not investable. Because this is just my opinion. If you don't want to buy it, you don't have to buy it. There's been a few comments, people saying, I don't like when you say just go and buy this. Well, if I'm saying that, it's because I'm doing it. And look, what's the downside risk? What is the downside risk long-term of investing in Surging Sparks? Even Vivid Voltage, I'm not stressed. Doesn't matter. I've tied up money for 4 years in it. Okay, could I have put it in something better? Yes. But where's the downside risk? I haven't lost anything. I've still gained roughly 30 to 40 Australian dollars per booster box over 4 years. It's not too bad. It's probably a rate of return of 6 to 8% per year. But I just can't stress enough that investing in Surging Sparks is not going to be a bad thing. And I suppose it's almost like a bit of a mixed match saying there, don't buy into the FOMO, but also don't listen to people that say it's Vivid Voltage 2.0. What I essentially mean by that is, don't be scared off from investing in Surging Sparks. It's a phenomenal Pokemon card set. Buy it up. However, when it comes to this FOMO, and prices pushing very, very far north, maybe don't feel you have to pay so much money just to get in. This set is going to be in rotation for a very long time. We don't actually know the full, amount or allocations of booster boxes that are coming. I'd be very surprised, if that's it, done, the initial first allocation done. There's got to be more of it coming, and therefore, there's got to be changes to prices on it. And, talking about that money and demand shifting from place to place, what happens if we get an Evolution-based set next year? And what happens if that Glory of Team Rocket trademark that's been released turns into a Team Rocket booster box set? That money's going to shift there. And then if there's still stock sitting around of Surging Sparks, well, it's, the demand's going to be taken away, and that almost unnatural hype for it at the moment is going to be pushed towards those sets, leaving Surging Sparks, hopefully, more price friendly. That's what I mean by those two comments. Anyway, that basically sums up this video. I'm Michael, this is PokeOz, and I'll catch everyone next time.